I've got quite a few races I've already set up. So if you were in our Discord, you probably saw a list of races that I'm kind of plan on doing. So I'm trying to jump around to different brackets. So if you've run those races, maybe, and you're in the top 5 or 6 there, we may be able to see your dogs out there running as well. So it should be a little fun. All right. I mean, we got a few people online. We'll wait around here just a little bit. Let's see. All right. All right, it's looking good. The first one I'm gonna race, I think if it's showing up on the screen there, correct, that's the level 40 something bracket, level 41 to 45 in that range. So I'm gonna run one. I'm gonna run that VIP trial, and I'm not gonna run all the races for each of the dogs I have. That would take us way too long. So I'm gonna do probably 1, 2 at the most for each of the different dogs in the brackets. So that way you can kind of see some of the dogs I've got and see how you compare to it. And I'm gonna try, if you've got questions on how you would run things, be sure and put those in the chat, because I'm here to help you out, and we'll see. And I'll show you what I do, some of the little tricks that I do along the way. If you've been on the live stream before, you've probably heard some of it as well. So I think we're good to go here. So again, we'll wait a little bit longer. We see more still coming on. As you can see, it's holiday season for us here. I've got the Christmas tree in the background. I think I've got fireplace, got stockings with the kids up over there, some decorations. So it's a fun time of year. We're slowing down at work, so I get to kind of play around a little bit more and have some fun. All right. Thank you, Andy. Okay, I think we've got enough, so let's go ahead and get started, because we got a bunch to go through, and I don't want to spend hours, like I said, doing these. So here's what my first setup is. This is a dog that I usually don't have, that I've actually sent out usually to pet sit by one of our community members, but I've got it back for just this race, and then I'll send it back to them a little bit later so they can run it for me and have some fun with it. But this is a pretty good dog. This is a silver one here. He's got some good stats and everything about him. So in this course specifically, one of the things I want to try, there's a lot of orange and a lot of yellow, so that's not really good for the chows at all. He is really good at the reds and purples, so I think he's an S, maybe an S for red and probably an A for purple, if I remember correctly. But his jump and velocity, his velocity is an E, so it's terrible there. So here's my setup of how it works. I generally work on the passive powers first. And with the passive powers, I'm looking to boost, for the most part, the best skills that I can, as long as it's a good setup for it. So that's the same thing with the consumables as well. So that's kind of my first mindset. If I'm going to have to choose between several ones, so if we look at the passive powers here, there's not a lot of good things. The jump swap's going to be great, even though it's not a lot, but it covers so much of the track, and I don't have any green, so that jump swap is fantastic. But then what I'm going to try on this race is I want to try that Favor of Anubis. That's a scary stone for a lot of people, and they don't want to use that one, because anything that's not those two colors gets a 20% knock on it. Now, what I think on this one is it's not going to be as bad, because again, my yellow and orange are the worst skills that I have. So 20% of my worst skills is not as many points from the skill points taken off there. So I think that's going to be a good thing. And the fact that my red and purple are my best in giving them a massive boost, I think that should help as well. But that's only about just a little over maybe half the course that covers. So let's run it and see. Again, I'm going to go with the jump swap in the Favor of Anubis there. Some would say instinct startup, or maybe even the might startup. But again, I want to try this and just see how it goes. And for me, on the active powers, I'm using the Griffin. And I'm going to use the Griffin in this entire section right here. And then for the lion skill, I'm going to start him somewhere around this area, because I want to be able to cover this red and orange stripe. He's going to kind of get double power right there. Now, I think he may end up maxing out his skill. I'm not sure. It'd be close maxing out his might skill, because he's so powerful on that. But I still think that's going to be a good one to do. So we're going to try that there. And then what I'll do is, so we'll start there. We'll have the Griffin here, and then I'm going to finish up with the 2 orange relics there. So let's just start one up. And let's see how it goes. All right, let me make sure. Yep, we're good to go. If it sounds okay, let me know out there. If I need to adjust some volume also, just let me know on that. But let's get one started. All right, so now if I remember where I'm going to play the different things. So first one's going to be lion. We're going to play it just about the time we get to that purple-red section, and I think it'll last plenty of time to cover all the orange and red together. It just needs to cover through that section, and that's going to be good. Next one is going to be right as we start this orange-yellow section up here. And here we go on this section. Now I'm expecting to see some starting to catch up around here. Now we're going to use our couple orange relics. Okay, we're looking good. Okay, good. We finished off the orange relics as well, so that was a max. So it looks like we're in first on that one right now. Yep. So that's a pretty good spread as well. That's 26. That's over a second. So we need somebody else to come out there and try that. Again, I think that has to do with that favor Anubis stone. If I'd used the instinct startup or the might startup, I don't think it would have done nearly as well on that. So, all right, let's see. That's one for that one. I'm not going to run it again because I want to go through a lot of different brackets, but let's try out another one. Let's go to Alpha Trial number 7, I think I've got set up. I kind of wrote some down over here so I can get to the right ones. And I believe that's going to be in the level 47 range. I've got one called Benelli here. As you see, I've got the DOGA, the battle pass for this season. I've already hit the blue here, so that's kind of a nice little look on the Chow. That's pretty slick. So, all right, let's check the event. Let's start with, I think I'm going to run 2 with him. Let's do the Alpha Trial first. Where's that? We're going to go up down here. I'll skip the gold. I think he'll do okay on gold, but let's do the Alpha Trial. And let's see. So for him, you know what? I think I'm going to do the same thing. This time I am going to do the balance startup. And then again, I'm going to use that favor of stone again, which people are worried about, but I think it's better than what you think for the most part. Okay, so we'll do a balance startup. For the consumable, again, I'm looking for whatever's the most of the track and then favoring my strength, my best skills if possible. So that's going to easily be the instinct skill, the purple there. All right. Sorry, my chat is on the other side, so if I'm looking away, I'm checking the chat over there to see if y'all are doing anything. Okay, good. The volume, is, Andy says, is good on that. So, okay. Let's look at active powers. We are going to run, I think there's a couple options here, but what I'm decided I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use this eagle stone right here in this section, and it's going to cover probably most of this part. And then I'm going to finish off with the dragon stone here. One of the other options I thought, and there probably would be fairly close, is I thought about dragon right here at the beginning because it would cover a lot of this section. But I'm going to miss out on that eagle coverage right there. But that still might be better. And if I did do this, I would probably go to still the eagle right after that to see how much he covers. So we may run this one just twice to see which one works out better. For relics, I'm going to use green, and I'm going to do both of those at the beginning. That's another thing that if I flip which stones I'm using, that's going to change that relic, and I probably would use the yellow relic the other direction. So let's try this one first, and we'll see how it goes. So we're going to do eagle, and then we'll finish with the dragon stone. If that dragon, I will say, uses up almost this entire section here, it's probably the go-to. It's going to probably be the best one. We may not run another. All right, let's get started. Parrot's a possibility. I think it's going to go through that section so quick that it's not going to have as big of an advantage. And with this a double section right here, you'll see how fast it moves through that. It almost covers, and looks like it almost is going to cover that entire section as well. So that's probably going to be good. Okay, so I forgot to use my relics there at the beginning. I started talking. Let's go back and run that again. We'll use those relics. I think I still did okay. Yeah, I'm in 4th there. So let's run that one more time. Let's see, go up here. Alpha, autofill. Let's change to balance startup, favor Anubis. And then we'll do this one there. And yeah, I do have the parrot stone. That is another one I thought of. I think that parrot's going to last so long though that it's going to run into something else and then kind of mess things up. But that's a possibility. You could technically use the dragon here at the beginning and then the parrot stone. That's a good thought on that. Okay, so let me go back to hit this again. We're going to start with green here and run that. Okay, let's see if I remember to hit our relics this time. That may just give us a little slight edge there. So we'll see. Okay, relic 1, relic 2, and now we hit the eagle. Yeah, he covers a lot of ground with that one. All right, then we're going to finish off with the dragon. The dragon doesn't get to take full advantage, and so that's kind of a downfall there. 17.319. Okay, that puts me in first, so that's not bad. I think I still could probably do that better, but I'm going to hold off and not do that. So if some others want to have a chance at it, kind of see what they want to do on that as well. And I may come back and play that one a little bit later, but for now, let's move on to something else instead of boring you with the same race over and over. So those extra relics did help there. It could have been possible the yellow relics might have helped a little bit more as well. That and that parrot, I like that idea that Andy put there. That, again, I think it's going to go too far and you won't get to take full advantage of it. But you also, that dragon here would get to use more of this section, and then you have that long run here. So I don't know, be close. All right, let's look at another one. Let's check I think it's the VIP trial. Was that what I was going to run in this one? Yeah, let's look at the VIP trial. All right, same thing here. I'm going to use that favor of stone. These just happen to work out real well today. So I've got red, red, purple, purple, red, purple. So there's quite a bit, but there is a lot of that green and blue. So to help compensate though, I'm going to use this swim swap. So that's going to cover my blue since it's going to get hurt pretty bad by that favor of Anubis stone. So the only other one that I've got then is going to be the green that's really going to be suffering some from that favor of stone. So let's go. I think it's going to be blue. My blue is actually a pretty good stone that I've got for this dog as well. He's not as good as the instinct, but there's a lot more of this. If you see the purple, we've got a small slender one and I've got a little bit larger one here. So I'm going to go with the blue on that. It probably wouldn't be a whole lot different in those two. Let's see. Okay, active powers. Yeah, I think that's what it actually did on autofill. I think that's going to work well. So I'm going to start the ray right here at the red and green section and see how much of it can get. And then I'm going to do the dragon here at the end. There's a lot of people that are going to have this blue purple. I think it's the Hydra stone. So they're going to do pretty well on that. But I'm going to start them a little bit early and see if it covers a little more of the section. So I don't know how this one's going to work. Let's try it out and see. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Andy. Yeah, that was Favente that asked about the parrot one. I'm just now seeing that in the text. Maybe wolf right at the start. Yeah, I thought about that, except the only reason I don't do that is I still think when it comes to the active stones that you're trying to actually help your weaker skills more than you are your best skills. So that's why I'm not going to use that wolf stone at the beginning in that section. And I really want to get that green covered. So that's part of the reason I'm going to do that. So, all right, let's see how this one works. So we're going to do green, blue. Okay, I do have some relics. Is that right? I'll make sure those relics. Yeah, I think I'll have plenty of time to run those relics after the dragon stone. So let's do it. All right. Okay, shiny blue. And here we go. First power stone up. And it's covering, yeah, it just about covered all that section. So we're going to hit it right here at the red and blue. And we'll see how much it gets through. Okay, so it is good. It's getting a little bit into that next section. So now we're going to run a couple of these. And we'll see if that lab catches. It's going to be, oh, that's close. Let's see what happened there. All right, there we are. We're in first place on that one as well. So I think that worked out pretty good. I don't know that I'll stay in that position. This is a tough track, as you actually they're 47 as well and a 46 level, but I think this one goes up to level 49. Yeah, this is up level 46 to 49. So I think you're going to see some more people coming along a little bit later that may be able to push me out of that spot. But that's a pretty good one for now. Let's jump to one other one. This one's going to be tough too, but for those of you that are diamonds, let's look at, I've got a diamond, but it's only level, I think it's 46. And so it's in the same category. Oh, wait, what am I doing here? there it is, Beretta. So I've got a little poodle here. Let's run it in the diamond trial. Again, it's level 46 and this goes up to level 49. So it's at the very bottom of the bracket. So this one may be a little tough to do. So let's go in here and look and see what we've got. I think I'm going to go for it, even though there's a lot more colors as well. I think I'm still going to use that Favor of Isis, or Isis, however they say that, on that one. And then I'm going to use the Swim Startup. And then I'm going to use, for active powers, I think that's correct. I'm going to use the frog here, and we're going to start that frog right in this section. And then for my dragon, if I remember what this track is like, I think this is a longer, it doesn't zip up real quick. It takes a little bit longer time. So I think that dragon will last that entire section there. For green, I'm going to use relics, green relics. Consumable, I think I determined I was going to use the jump because that's the most, and that's a good skill for him. All right, let's see here. All right, I think we're ready to go, so we'll start right here. Like I said, I'm not sure how he'll do, except there's not as much competition, so that'll help him a little bit. All right, if I can remember what I'm doing. Okay, we start with a relic at the beginning. And we're off. Relic 1. And here's the blue and orange section. And then we've got another green relic that'll come up here to help out. All right, and then we're going to finish off with this dragon. And again, I hope that it lasts the entire time. Yeah, he's not going to capture first, doesn't look like on this one. Not bad, but that's a tough track for him. So it looks like he's in 4th on that one, 46. So yeah, we've got a couple. That looks like somebody from our group as well up here. That's a good dog. So, and that's a good track for labs as well on that one, because I think, let's see what that looked like. Yeah, good bit of water. It does have orange, so that hurts, but green is good for labs as well. So, okay, well, there's that track. I didn't think that one would do well, but I think that's the best that I have for a diamond to be able to show what some of those look like. Let's jump to some of the lower level nows, and we're going to get to the Doge tracks here in just a little bit, but let's, I'm kind of saving some of those for the end, and we'll see how those go. All right, let's jump to, who am I going to use? Okay, let's use Colt. This is a fun little greyhound that I've got. He's got some really good skills. And let's just start with the grand trial on this one for him. He's got a couple here. So this is level 15 to 18. He's a level 17, so a slight disadvantage. But I think he's going to do okay here. He'll probably have some competition with the Great Danes, or maybe the Boxers as well, because they're going to have a lot of the orange, and the red is going to help them out a little bit there. And he struggles on the red for sure. But his advantage is he's got a swap stone, since there's no purple, that I can use that might swap to give him an advantage on that red part there. So let's see, what are we going to use? Use the might swap, and I think I'm going to use the boost. I rarely use boost unless there's a whole bunch of it, but I think I'm going to do that here in this situation. So we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to use the boost. The afterburner is stronger than the boost, but it's only going to cover about 5, 10 there. And this one I've got about 5, 10, 11, 15 to 20 for the boost. So it's almost double the amount. And so I think they're going to be fairly equal, but I think the boost has a little bit more. So, okay. For active powers, I think this sets it up good. We're going to use the wolf just right here in this section, and it may last that entire time. It should work out well for that. And then for the dragon, we'll use the dragon right here just to cover some of a longer part that captures both the yellow and the orange. And then for relics, I'm going to go with green. He may run out of some of those. We'll use some green here and then at the very end, and then we'll also use a velocity, 20% velocity. So, okay, let's run it and see. Make sure I can remember what I'm doing. All right, here we go. Yeah, Akitas are good, yeah, as well in this kind of track. Don't see any there. Oh, yeah, there is one there. That's probably Dave's Akita right there. Karak, I think is its name. So you'll see him do pretty decent here. All right, we'll do your first relic here, and then we're going to go straight into our dragon. And hopefully it'll last a little bit longer to help in some of that red, and then maybe we can finish it off here with the green relic. Yeah, pretty good. So that's a good dog. I enjoy that one. That Dragonstone is extremely helpful. You may not win all the time in the top first place or whatever, because you can have some other good double stones that work better. But that dragon power kind of always helps you do decent in all the races, because you always have a flexibility with that one. So versus the Hydra and the Griffin. So that's a good stone to have. All right, let me see here. Okay, let's jump to, all right, you want to do the Doge races now? Let's do some of those. I think I've got those. I'm only going to do a couple of these. I know one of them is not going to be good, and I think it's the one that Carito mentioned that he's probably in first, and I don't think I'm going to be able to capture that. So let's see. Is that the right? Nope, wrong one. That's good. All right, and again, I don't own any dogs specifically for the Doge, so I'm pet sitting some here for this event. Okay, so I think this is the one I wanted to use. I don't even remember who the owner is of this one. So, okay, let's set it up. This is track. Let's do track A first. And again, that's the one I think I'm going to be a little bit weaker on for sure. I've got, the problem is I've only got instinct swap is not, instinct startup isn't going to work because it finishes at 15 right here. So I won't get to use any of that. It's only going to be able to use jump boost, which there's a bunch of, so that's good. But I have nothing else to use for this one. So what I'm going to use is the velocity swap. I say nothing else for the most part. That's going to cover this little sliver at the beginning and at the very end there, a little bit of boost. But other than that, there's not much going on in the passive. So that's a big disadvantage for him. Now for the consumable, I think I'm going to go, it looks like there's a little more green than there is orange. So I think overall there's more green. So we're going to go with that. And his green and orange are identical. If you see, they're both at 128 on a skill level. So it's not going to matter either one. I'm just going to go with the one that has the most of, and since that looks like green. Okay, active powers. Okay, so on active powers, I think, what do I want to do here? Am I doing that right? Yeah, so active power, I'm going to do the rabbit, and then I'm also going to use the ray. So here's my thought process behind that, and I'm going to use a purple relic as well. So for mine, I'm going to start right here, and that's going to cover a really good section of this. These are slower since they're much lower levels, so it's going to last that whole part. And then we'll do a couple relics here. I think both of them may finish work within that one section. And then we'll finish off with a rabbit, hopefully cover as much of that as possible. So, yeah, I need to upgrade the stones for those. Okay, these are all upgraded, the ones I'm using, so that's good. I think I saw somebody say that. Dave's too busy winning rewards in the Doge events. Pete again. So, yeah, I don't have all of mine upgraded. That's a problem. Level 1 materials, if you're playing a bunch and you've got some of the old, other ones and then you've got level 1, you've probably realized it's hard to get level 1 materials right now. So, okay. Here we go. Let's see how this works. I'm a little nervous on this one because it's not a great setup. All right, we're going to start with the ray. All right, and he's off. As you see, it's probably going to use up that entire stone, so that's a good thing. And then we'll do a couple relics here. 1 and 2. And then we'll finish with a rabbit. And we'll see, he should do okay in this section because he's got the jump boost. So I don't know that he's going to capture first there. In fact, he's dropping back behind a little bit, but not horrible. Was that 3rd or 4th place maybe? So Carito is still up there. Carito, is that how you pronounce that? I'm not sure. Okay, so this is, owner is GF007. So I don't know who you are. If you're watching, there's your dog. So 5th place, that's a little bit of 10 DOGA there. So that's not bad. Let's jump to, I think he may have a little bit better advantage on the trial B. So let's run that one and see what happens. Yeah, see, he's got the velocity swap here. So that's going to be a huge help because of all that velocity as well as the jump boost. So it's going to cover that. So he should, unless a bunch of other people have that as well. So for the consumable, I think we'll go with the yellow again because there's more of that, it looks like, than the orange. And then for passive stones, they're not great. They're just decent. Nothing that covers any of those striped sections well. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to start with an eagle here, and then I'm going to go with a rabbit as well. I'm not sure how far that eagle is going to extend it, but it can come all the way into here and still take advantage of the velocity, and then we'll start up the rabbit. So that'll just cover us, and then we'll just save the 2 last green relics for that one there. So, All right, here we go. Let's see. These are all, I've got these all upgraded too, so that should work well. All right, let's do it. We'll just go ahead and start it off from the beginning. And there they go. And if you got any other questions about the game or just whatever, let me know in the comments there and we'll get to them and answer some of your questions there. All right, that worked out pretty well. We'll see how good he does here. Not bad. I don't know if he's going to pull it off. Looks like it. Okay, nice. So right now he's in first place. Jumped up above there, so that's pretty good. Hopefully that'll hold. I don't know if that'll hold or not until tomorrow, so that's a fun little event. So that's the only ones I'm going to even do in Doge today on here, so you can go out there and try to beat those. I may run some other ones, but they're not going to do real well in that. In that other track, I don't think he has any chance if I remember looking at it. Yeah, velocity swap would be horrible. He has a little jump boost, and that's it. So there's really nothing good for him at all. I could run a couple stones, but they're not. I mean, he would probably end in the top 30, maybe something like that. So, all right. Well, let's run a few others again. If you got any questions, as you had the passive, Fox wasn't bad. Yep. As you had the passive velocity. Oh, you mean? Are you talking about this one? Oh, the Fox. Yeah. If you're talking about using the Fox here, that would be. Those are tough, those risky stones there, and I don't have them upgraded either. I could upgrade them some, but I don't know that I'm going to. So let's do some level 50s. These are tough. I don't expect to get first place on these because we've got a lot of competition there, but I think we should do decent. Let's go to, I think I've got Goldilocks here. This is one of my favorites. So I'm trying to see if my dogs are around somewhere. Oh. This one, I've got this one and one other that kind of look like my golden retriever that I've got at the house. Let's see. Okay. Events. Let's just do the bronze trial for him. Since it's a bronze, he'll do better on that since he's a bronze. Not competing against the big boys. Okay. So for passive stones, that's just the way I usually go first. I'm going to do passive stones. We'll use a swim swap here. Then you've got the choice between swim afterburner or might startup, but that's a lot of might startup. It gets the full 15. So whereas this one gets 5, 10, because it starts at 25 for the afterburner for swim. So that goes 5, 10, 15 as well, but your startup is much more powerful. That's 156. This is 234. So we're going to do the might startup on that one. And then let's look at active power. So what I'm going to do with the active powers, these are the ones I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Griffin right here at the beginning to help cover that section. Because again, since this is a golden retriever, his jump skill is terrible. So that's going to also help the jump skill. And then I'm going to start this blue-red right here because I want it to also still help some of that orange jump part. The other thought that I had on this one was maybe the eagle here at the end, but I can tell you that eagle is going to use up more space than this. You can use a Hydra starting right here and it will just about cover the entire thing. And a Hydra's only, I think it's a 4 second. And so an eagle is 6 full seconds. So I'm just not going to get to use all the stone. So it would be close, but I'm going to go with the shark on that one instead. So on the previous one, Favente's talking about. Okay, got you. So yeah, I think I've got about 45-second lag here, so that's why I'm seeing some stuff a lot later on what y'all are talking about. Okay, let's see. Consumable, we'll pick a blue consumable because that's his best skill, and so it covers a lot of that. A good section, and it's the most of this one other than orange, and orange is terrible for him, so we're not going to use that for consumable. All right, I think we're good to go. Oh, no, relic. Relic, we're going to help out with the purple section. That was my thought process on that. So Griffin, shark, and then the relics there. All right, here we go. All right, start at the beginning. Okay, and as soon as we hit that section, there's your Griffin. See, he's going to struggle in the orange parts here, but now he should do a little bit better in this section. But you can see, I don't think he's going to catch first, but all right, so we've got one. I messed up a little bit there. I should have let that shark finish out. So I could go back and run probably edge out a little bit different, but we're going to leave it there from now. We'll let some others. So yeah, I'm in the top 10. So that's not bad for one of the bronze. We've got a lot of people now up in the bronzes that are starting to max out all their stuff. So that's good. You can see we've already had 93, it looks like on my screen, race, which means we're probably closer to the 100 mark at this point if I rebooted to see the updated numbers. So, okay, let's try another number 50. Let's do a silver track this time. I've got a silver, where is it? There it is. So let's do exclusive. Let's go to silver on that one. All right, let's see what we've got. So this one, let's use an instinct swap here. And then we've got, after instinct, let's try this favor of again. I think, nope, instinct swap. Then we're going to use this favor of. There's a lot of blue this entire back section, and then using an instinct swap helps take over that. So the one that's going to suffer the most is just going to be the orange. You could use an instinct startup again. You're going to get this little section here, which isn't horrible, but I think overall getting this entire section is going to be pretty nice. So let's try that. For consumable, we'll go with the blue. His blue is a little bit stronger than his instinct, his purple, not by much, 510. Oh no, it's actually, yeah, it's 515 for his blue and his instinct's 510. And it looks like there may be a little bit more blue, although this section goes really fast. So I'm not sure how that affects things as far as the advantage it gives you for the stones. So, all right, so relic, we're gonna do yellow. We'll see if we get to use it. Active powers, I'm going to go with the rabbit and then the shark. So the rabbit's going to be really good. It's going to help cover that orange as well as this orange purple. So that's great. And then shark, we'll start right here and we'll see how far it goes. And then I'll finish it off with a couple of the yellow relics. The parrot here, again, this is going to be too quick for him. He'll zip right through that. It won't get to take much use of that parrot. So, and I don't want him to run into the water because that's a really good skill. So it would take off way too much skill from the water. All right, let's do it. All right, and we'll just start it as soon as it gets to that orange. There we go. This is a quick orange purple. Usually that's the one that just kind of zips through it. So you can see that's going to last. That's nice. And then we'll start right at the beginning of that purple. So this is where he's doing pretty good. All right, we've got one relic and starting the next ones. Yeah, so he did well on that track. So we'll see if that's first. Yep, first place for that one by about almost a half second, a quarter to a third of a second. So not too bad there. All right. Let's see, what else we want to do? Let's do a few with another one, some of the other level 50s here, and we'll get into some of the bigger ones, the more competition ones. And I'm going to use one of my favorite dogs now. This is Armalite. Part of the reason I like it is the look of it. That's one of the super rare fur colors. So I'm going to start a new campaign, bring back rarities, the super rare furs. I like them a lot. And let's look at the event for him. Let's start with the grand trial. So he's got a couple advantages and he does well. And this is where a lot of people think, oh, why are the bronze doing so good? He's got some really good stones that work for him that don't work for everything else. Like on this one, for instance, he's got the might swap again, so I don't have to deal. That helps his red. That's a weak skill. He's also got this favor of that covers that yellow and blue section that happens a lot. So that's great because yellow is one of his great ones. And then he's got the yellow swap. So if there is no blue, that works out well. So in fact, on this one, we're going to go with that. We're going to do a velocity swap and a might swap. So that works well. For him, his jump ability is also the best skill for jump for a greyhound. I believe it's an A is what it is. So that helps out. And then what we'll do, let's see, active powers. I'm going to go with the lion here, and I'm going to probably start it right at the orange, and we'll see how much of that it covers. In fact, I probably should start it a little bit earlier and the reason I say that is I've got the dragon power. So even if it doesn't cover this, I've got the dragon power to kick in to help cover some of that. So I may start it a little bit early. In fact, I think that it will be good. So we'll start it somewhere around here. And then for the relics, we're going to go with green. And then I'm going to use, there's more green, it looks like, of anything. It's a decent skill of his. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yellow and orange are his best. So it could be orange would be a better one. but we'll just go with green for now because it's one that's could use a little bit extra. All right, here we go. So we'll start with lion, dragon, and then a couple relics. Now this should be, again, tougher competition because we're competing against, I think, probably several hundred already at this point. All right, it's going to push through some of this, and we'll start about now. Yeah, I could have even started that earlier than that. So, and the reason is you want that dragon to get to take full advantage of all of that striped section. So if I went back and ran that one again, I should be able to run that one even better than that. It looks like he might have pulled out first anyways. Yeah, 18.812. So that's good. Uh-oh, I beat Westy over here. She's going to be mad at me. So he's in first for now. I may come back and run that one later if somebody overtakes me on it, because I'm pretty sure I can start, again, that lion even earlier and then use that dragon and cover almost this entire section of double to get more advantage. And he doesn't need as much help on the yellow. He's good on that. So that's kind of the advantage. If you're not pet sitting, some people are like, they don't know how good their dogs are doing. If you're having somebody pet sit your dog, most likely they're not going to run it again. So if you've got the time to do it, but for them, that's costing them more star and Nubics, and they're not making as much star running those. So it's not as advantageous for them to run it a second time to get a little bit better time. So you're just not going to do as well in that sense. Okay, let's see. Let's run him in. No, I guess that's it. That's the only other one I was going to do with him. So I looked at running the VIP trial. No, let's do it real quick. I don't even remember what I was going to plan on doing. Let's do jump start up, and let's try the favor of again. I don't know how well he'll do here. So I'm going to go with yellow on this one. Like I said, I'll do it kind of quick so we don't spend too much time. And then I think I've just got like one more race I'm going to run after this. And so then after that, if y'all want to chat or anything, we can, or we can close the stream for today. All right. So this is a tricky one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the green relics right in here. Let me look. Active. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the swordfish right here to cover a lot of this blue section, in part because he's using that yellow blue, and this has got some orange and green that are getting hurt from that favor of stone. So it'll also help there. And I'm going to start right here at the beginning with the dragon. The disadvantage, I think, of that, actually, do I want to do, maybe I don't want to do it. The disadvantage of that is he's probably going to max out his skill for the orange and yellow because he's just, he's great at orange and yellow already. Now I'm doubling up his power on that. Plus I've got the max boost here coming with him and the favor of stone. So there's a lot going on there. So I'm going to change it up. I think I'm changing. I'm going to start with the swordfish here, and because it's not going to be as powerful and it'll last a long while. And then I'm going to do Dragonstone starting at the orange and the blue section. So kind of debatable on which is better, but that's the route I'm going to try. So let's do it. Okay, here we go. Again, should have quite a bit of competition on this one, so I don't know how he'll do. So I'm hoping that he finishes off. Yeah, he finished that stone. Good. Okay, we've got one relic, second relic coming up. And then we will use the Dragonstone here. Hopefully it'll get through a bunch of this first and second section. Okay, that's good. So he's going to struggle here when he hits the orange because that's a negative for him. So not great on the VIP, but it should keep me in the top 100, I would think. Yeah, 28th place. So that's good for me. For a bronze competing in the VIP trial, that's not bad. As long as you make top 100, you still get some winnings out of that. So I don't know if I flipped it the other direction, if it'd change it much. Probably not a whole lot, because that orange at the very last strip is where he's always going to struggle there because of using that favor of stone. Okay, let's do one more. Let's back all the way down to level 14. So I don't know that Chris is around, but if Chris is around, he may have one in this level, so we might see his out there competing. All right. So he's only got one track. This is Scooby-Doo. I've got a couple here at this level that probably would both do well, but we'll just run this one, the Scooby-Doo. It's one of my favorite Great Danes. All right, and we're going to use a couple options. I think I'm going to go with the swim swap, and then we're going to go with the might startup as well. So that'll be most of that startup. So that's great. The other option is, and it could be better, would be using the jump swap. So I've got jump is really good for him. And I, again, on the passive want to use their best skills, but there's a whole extra section of blue that's going to be covered from that swim swap. So I'm going to go with that instead, but the other one might work a little better. Okay. For the consumable, we're going to go with red since there's so much red. For active powers, I'm going to use the bison at the beginning. I think that will last this entire section. Let's see here. All right, a bison there. And then we're going to use, I think I decided, okay, I'm going to go with the frog on this one. But I'm not using it where you might think. It looks like it could work here. I think that's too short of a section. So instead, I'm going to start it right here at this red and blue section and let that frog last as long as it can through this entire section. The other one I have is the shark. But again, I think if you play it here, it's just not going to last very long. You don't get to take full use of that stone. So that's the route that I'm going to go on this one. So that's my strategy. Okay. We're going to go with purple relic. So we'll start bison, purple relic, frog, and then we'll finish off if we have some more purple left there, and I'm pretty sure we will. Okay. Last race. Again, if you got any other questions before we leave, go ahead and put them out there for me. Starting. All right, there's the bison. Yeah, and you can see it's using the, and a couple people used rhino there, so that's just not quite as good because it just doesn't last long enough. So now you've got the instinct relic, one of them there. And I'm going to save the last one, even though it probably would have still fit there. All right, and then we got the blue and orange. It's coming up there. And then we'll use the last instinct right there. I don't know if he'll catch it or not. It's going to be close. And first place. Oh, it's Dave. Uh-oh, Dave's going to be mad at me again in second there. So, Dave, go back and use that other the bison if you got it instead of the rhino, and you'll destroy me on that one. But I don't know that you have a bison with that one. So, okay. I think that's it. I think we'll probably take off for now if there's no other questions and everything. So I'll give it a few seconds since we have some time lag in there. So hope everybody's having a good time. The holidays are coming up. Enjoy the holidays. I'll be doing some more live streams and things. I may do them from my own personal account, though, in the next couple weeks or something like that, because I can jump on those a little bit quicker and easier. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys later.